Hello and welcome back to Israel with Aline. Today we are back at Mount Sodom and we are going to go in and discover one of the most different and terrible places that exist here in Israel. So if you are ready, let's get started. And to visit such an extreme place, I can't go alone, so I invited an expert to meet me up there, who is Shlomi Lubaton. So come with me and meet him to start this day that is really going to be an adventure. We are now climbing Mount Sodom, where the city of Sodom was located, which was destroyed by God with fire, sulfur, and salt. And nowadays this place is made almost entirely of salt. And we saw a few weeks ago that the place has no life at all, and you can still see here today sulfur and fire. And the link to the previous video is up here now and will also be at the end of this video. But the most important thing about Sodom we are going to see today, which is the inside of it. And the place is a real secret. In fact, I have never been inside Sodom until today. Guys, we are finishing this climb, which is super tough. But look at the wonderful view we have from here. We are now looking at the Dead Sea, and it's also very hot. Here, guys, it's over 40 degrees, and in the high summer, it can reach up to 45, if not 50 degrees. But finally, we are arriving because we are going to meet Shlomi. Shalom, Shlomi. Good morning, very good morning. Tell us where we are going now. So,
we have arrived at Sodom. We are now going to enter the bridge of... We are going to enter with the help of the knights, and we are going to put 2 spoons inside the chest of the earth. Indeed, 262 feet high. In Sodom, there are 263 spoons. Only 7 of them have an exit outside. And there are almost 200 mountains here that fill with water and agamem the interior. Something very special and interesting in the world.
Are there caves here filled with water?
Yes.
I didn't know that, but the one we're going into today is dry. It is?
Dry.
Guys, as he said, we're going to go inside the stomach, into the bowels of Sodom now.
Beiger.
For me, as I mentioned to you, it's the first time I'm going to enter the belly of Sodom, so let's start this adventure. Shlomi brought me some safety equipment, so I'm going to carry it now and we'll enter the mountain in a little while. Let's go.
Let's go.
And an interesting thing is that salt caves only exist in 2 places in the world. One is here in Israel on Mount Sodom, and the second is in Iran, which today is Israel's great...
chocolate, but it's barbecue. And when we look at this, there are layers of salt between the barbecue.
Every time I come here to Mount Sodom, I discover new things. I mean, this here looks like paper. It looks like a sushi sheet, and it's natural here from the mountain. So there really is no place in the world like Sodom, and the closer we get to the cave, the more excited I'm getting, and with more adrenaline and more desire to enter. So I'm going to take a little piece as a souvenir.
It looks like chocolate. It's not for eating. I'm going to
take this souvenir. Let's move. Wow. From here we can already see the entrance to our cave. In the previous video, when I asked you if you wanted me to go into one of the caves, I mean, go inside Saroma, many of you said, Aline, don't go, it's dangerous. I first thank you for your concern, and I will never do anything that puts my life or anyone on my team at risk. And there really are caves that are collapsing. There are dangerous caves, and that's why to go in, we need to go in with someone who knows the place. And that's why I called Shlomi, because he
is an expert.
Here, and I wanted to ask you, how many times have you entered one of these caves?
So,
Guys, as you saw, he has literally been in here over 1,000 times. How many years have you been working with caves here?
12?
12 years? 12?
Yes.
So it's been quite a while?
And
If you can go into this cave alone, do you need equipment? How does it work?
no, you can't go alone because it's dangerous. You need to rappel. And you can't take the value a little alone. And you also need to have a trainer who knows the apple, because there are many explorations and several different ways that you can't do without someone knowing with the map where to enter and where to go. The apple that we are going to make is 2.9 miles. It's very big.
So guys, there needs to be someone who knows for two reasons. Firstly, the equipment and safety concerns. And second, it's literally a maze. There are mazes inside Sodom. And that's why I brought the best.
Here from,
What equipment do we have for entry with me to Israel today?
we have unique mirrors here. We have very strong flashlights, which makes it possible to see well inside the cave. Because
The cave is completely dark, folks. It's 100% dark. So we're going to need a lot of lighting. How many meters of rope are here?
100.
Meters. Nothing, as you can see, folks. We came prepared for this adventure. Well, while he's doing all the things here, I want to do a few more. The first one is, how did you get into this world of caves? What do you study to work in caves? Not only does he know everything about the caves here in Mount Sodom, but he also knows a bit of Portuguese.
Okay,
Perfect, then.
you can continue.
And when you're ready, we go down, folks. I'm a bit afraid of heights, but I'm sure it will be worth it. Now Shlomi is also going down. Now is the hardest part. We did a little descent here, but now we are going to descend 262 feet inside Sodom and in total darkness. That's why I'm here now too, with the little light on top that I'm going to turn on as soon as I enter. Oh, folks. Do you see that little point up there? That's me. We are literally entering Sodom. Guys, I feel like I've landed on the moon. I knew this place was beautiful, but I had no idea it was this different. Shiana, now it's Shlomi's turn to go down. I'm so nervous to be here that I'm sweating all over. You have no idea, but look at this. The walls, they are made of salt. There's a thin layer of sand, but you can clearly see that it's salt. Wow, look at this here.
There's water come here.
Oh, can you see my wet finger? There's water dripping from here. How can there be water here in the middle of the desert? Look here. It's a pipe. And from this pipe, my hand is all wet, salt water is coming out.
You see.
The name of your singing psalms, I think, is a good choice, because now he just knocked down the doors. That means we can't get out of here. And yes, we are going to cross the cave, cross the mountain until we get in front of the Dead Sea. So we are going to make a huge journey. He said that even dragging, we will drag. And if you are not hearing the sound very well, I apologize. But the moment we entered this cave, the sound started to have a little problem. The camera too. so I don't know what's happening. But the moment we entered Sodom, everything started to go wrong, but we want to film anyway. We want to show this place to you. So if there is a little problem with image, with sound, with this, don't mind, because our equipment is not liking it here in Sodom. Here there is a waterfall, not now at this moment, but a few days during the winter when there are heavy rains, especially in the region of the Judean mountains on the side of Jerusalem. A river runs here. The river falls. This here that we are is the dry waterfall, and it runs through here. So in reality it runs and
Ends in the
Dead Sea, no,
984 yards.
984 yards, so almost a kilometer now. We are going to follow the path of this river. And this phenomenon of rivers that appear out of nowhere, it exists here. We call it in Hebrew chittafon. They are storms, and they are very dangerous. I asked him if he has ever been here when this was happening. He said that he only saw it one day from the outside, because it's very dangerous to come in here when there's water. When
It's falling
imagine a waterfall. On top of all that, a waterfall falling.
here. So
When it falls here, the road closes for 3 days. Picture this, Road 90, a vital artery linking North and South Israel, just shuts down.
the road,
Because this here is really, folks, when I say that Sodom is a unique place in the world, it's a salt cave with a waterfall a few days a year, but there is a waterfall here. And for me, it's a mystery why archaeological excavations are not done here. Folks, Sodom has not been excavated, and besides that, tourists don't even come here. In 2019, Israel had over 4 million tourists. And how many people came and got to know the remains of Sodom or Gomorrah that is near here? Folks, we can clearly see that this is salt. I even wanted to taste the salt, and Shlomi said no, not at all. That the salt from Sodom and Gomorrah is poisonous because of the amount of minerals and composition. I didn't even tell him that I tasted it last time, but just a little bit. So folks, when you come to Sodom and Gomorrah, this is biblical history and it's not edible. But what I also wanted to show you is the feeling of walking here. When we walk, it feels like we're walking in snow. It's a very, very strange feeling. Even listen to a sound. And up there I'm seeing, in fact, that there is a red arrow drawn. Why? It's a maze, folks. While trailing Shlomi, I suddenly notice he starts going into places. So it's really impressive that if we come here alone, the chance of us getting lost, I think it's very high. So I'm not going to stay behind. I'm going to follow him. Shlomi, don't leave me behind. Look here, folks, the red arrow. So we're going in the opposite direction of this arrow. I don't know where it points. There are no more instructions, but I follow Shlomi wherever he says. Shlomi said he wanted to show us something with the flashlight. Wow, look here, folks, it's salt. And the rock is transparent. Since it's a salt rock, we can see the flashlight light from below reflecting on everything. How amazing. And here's more, folks. Rock doesn't do this. I mean, we're seeing it here. Wow. I'm so eager to taste this salt, but Shlomo said I can't. And looking at this extreme and destroyed place, it's hard to imagine how it was once green and blooming. The Bible tells us that this was a green and full of life region until the destruction of Sodom and the neighboring cities. But the Bible in Ezekiel 47 tells us that in the future this region will also come back to life. And here nearby, this prophecy has already begun to be fulfilled. And there are fish swimming where the Dead Sea used to be. If you want us to make a video showing this prophecy that is being fulfilled today, leave a like on this video. And if we reach 100,000 likes again, we will show you the fish of the Dead Sea. After such a tiring walk, folks, you can also take a little rest here. Oops! So, look, here's a salt trail ready. So, let's rest for 5 minutes here and we'll continue.
See how small it is. It's very hard working, almost. Can fly?
Has
A lot of blood.
What we see here, we see on top black pieces of gopher. Gopher is an organic material that comes out of the earth and is mentioned in the Bible, activated the Ark of Noah and the Ark of Moshe Rabbeinu, activated it from gopher. Wow.
Guys, see how many biblical stories connect in this place. Not only the story of Sodom, which in itself is fascinating and terrible, we see the veracity of the biblical stories too, because we know that these materials exist here in this region and that people already knew how to use them. Yes.
This appears in the Tanakh, that the young women of Gopher came out of the Amalek lake. And there are still asphalt and asphalt navios that come out of the ground.
He's telling me so much today that I don't know. Despite living in Israel for 13 years and knowing a lot about it, there's still much to learn. So one day, who knows, we might see the asphalt, the tar coming out of the Dead Sea. Here you can see that all this part of the cave collapsed. And all the time there are landslides. I mean, the mountain is moving, it's getting higher and higher, which is a phenomenon in itself, quite strange. And the mountain moving, it causes landslides. So all this part here collapsed, and the only way to go is down here. So guys, we're going to go now crawling to be able to get out of Sodom, because it's really being, I think, the hardest tour I've done here in Israel, or maybe in my life. Let's go. Guys, even my light is blinking. Everything is stopping to work, and we're here crawling inside this cave. Guys, it's much harder than it looks. I'm already leaving. We left. As you can see, guys, it's already dark. The tour was 5 hours inside the cave. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Shlomi, because without you, we wouldn't even be able to get in, let alone get out of this cave.
Thank you. Thank you.
To you, and for anyone who wants to go on adventure tours with you here in Israel, how can they find you?
We refer to it as Shevel Eretz, Snappling Travelers and Pools. For me, we call it Shlomi Lubaton. And we do rappelling travelers in Israel, in waters, in pools, and many extreme travelers and flying travelers, sinkholes, something very special that exists only in Israel, nowhere in the world, isn't it? So,
guys, whoever wants a true adventure tour here in Israel, both here in the Sodom region, in the Dead Sea, from north to south of Israel, can talk to Shlomi, his website, all social networks, WhatsApp, all contacts are here on the screen. So,
thank you very much.
Guys, a kiss. See you next time.